Hey everybody, Bob Chick back with another installment of The Voice of Bodybuilding, and this episode once again brought to you by our good friends at Redcon One and powered by Panada Sport. Well, as everybody knows, it's never a dull week in the world of bodybuilding, whether there's a show or not, but once again, it's the Jackass of the Month Club and the same guys in the winner's circle, and we're going to go through all that. My good buddy Nick Trigili thought he really had me the other day, except for one thing, Nick. I'm a little bit smarter than you. So we're going to go through your video piece by piece. I'm going to systematically rip you a new one. Let's go to the footage. Before we even start the video, you can see the sensationalism that this guy uses. You won't believe what he said about Big Ramy. You know what I said about Big Ramy? Nothing. There is no big moment here that you're going to get of something I said that's so outrageous, okay? This is just clickbait. It's what I keep explaining to everybody out there, but I'm going to expose this fool for all he's worth. So let's just go through it piece by piece, because as usual, I got answers. All right, so here we go.
You guys are going to see exactly what I mean just by watching this first clip of Dennis James challenging everything Bob had to say about Big Ramy and the Arnold Classic. So here's the first clip. Enjoy.
Let's get the. I have something to start right away with Bob.
Beautiful.
Bob, you did a video yesterday saying what's wrong with Big Ramy's physique.
Correct, sir. What is wrong?
And I was listen. I'm not talking about what was wrong.
Watch what happens.
The first thing
Yeah, let's watch what happens. Get ready for the big moment, everybody. Here we go.
Is you put two pictures up where you want to compare a 2013 lat spread, and then you want to put an Arnold Classic lat spread out where he's clearly putting his arms back to slowly starting to get into the lat spread. I have it right here for you.
Yeah. I know.
That's not a
Now, let's stop that right there and analyze, okay? As I already explained 100,000 times, but I'll explain it for 100,001. Okay, the wrong picture was put up in post. I'm not the editor. But yeah, my mistake. Yeah, I didn't actually look at it, make sure the proper picture was put up. But let's just take it for what it is right now, okay? Yeah, the picture on the right is actually not the right picture, but it actually doesn't even make my case. So for everybody, including Dennis, who thought there's some smoking gun here, all right, the picture that's put up, the erroneous picture, the wrong picture, doesn't even make the case I'm trying to make. This was no foul. There was no Photoshop picture that I did to try to illustrate or make something up. The picture, he's not even in the pose. So what does this prove? Nothing. The actual pictures, which we're going to see in a minute, were actually put up on my Instagram, which does illustrate an issue, which basically everybody tries to skirt at that point because it cleanly shows that there's an issue here that everybody seems to want to ignore. But this picture right here shows absolutely nothing, and it doesn't even favor the point I'm trying to make. It's just stupid at best. But here we go.
Harrison?
Yeah, that was the editor's fault.
There you go, right? That picture right there on the right doesn't make my case. It actually, he's not even in the pose yet. So clearly this was the wrong picture that was used. And again, it was a mistake in the editing room. Like, this is a big deal.
Not mine. I had two different pictures, which if you look at my IG today, the two pictures that I wanted are
yeah,
on my
but Bob,
IG right now.
why don't you edit it out and put the real picture in?
Because I'd have to delete the entire thing on YouTube. I don't want to.
Don't you look?
Now, the only reason a person would answer a question like that the way Bob just did is because they're a full-blown narcissist.
Don't you look? Oh,
does this jackass even know what a narcissist is? Do you not even realize, soy boy? You not even have the right context of the word. A full-blown narcissist has what to do with anything. Listen, do yourself a favor, Nick. Don't use big words, okay? Multi-syllable words. Go to the low-hanging fruit, my friend. Just pick the real simple one syllable, maybe two every here and there, because literally you just dumbed yourself down 100 points by trying to make a point that you didn't even know what the definition of the word is or how it would even be used in this context.
You think before you posted?
No, I didn't look it over. It was two lousy, easy pictures. I mean,
this looks very misleading for people.
Let's not
No, it actually doesn't look misleading. It doesn't really show anything. Again, it's a picture that was put up by mistake that doesn't actually make my case or anybody else's case.
And when he blamed whoever edited the video and uploaded it, that was such a coward move on Bob's part.
Once again, coward, even though it's not a big multi-syllable word. A coward move? Like, do you even understand the words coming out of your mouth?
At least take some accountability and just be like, yeah, I know, I slacked off on that. But no, the guy has to go blame someone else. I'm not even going to bring the editor into this because I know who edited this video and I like this person. But
you have absolutely no clue who edited the video, and you wouldn't know him to like him or dislike him.
It was just a mistake. But Bob, it's your channel. It's called The Voice of Bodybuilding. So take some accountability and realize that you did this without even knowing because you didn't even check the video you uploaded to your channel. Because you know why? You probably didn't even upload the video to your channel because you probably don't even know how to.
I don't need to know how to upload a video. Okay, it's not really my forte, but I got to take responsibility. I've got to actually take some stock into this. It's my show and all that, right? You didn't even bother to check. Well, I got news for you, Mr. Grammatical Errors. Okay, the very title of your stupid video got my name, and it says your, POS, YOUR. Nick, there's two different yours, okay? Your as if possessive, right? Like, you know, there's like it's your crappy show, okay? Like that would actually apply in that case. You are a POS, right? You are. Like your fans, okay, your fans, Nick. You getting? Did you ever go to English class? Did you pass high school? Okay, your, but you didn't even bother to check that, did you? It's actually completely wrong on your own channel, Nick. Do you not take any pride in what you're putting out? Did you not look at this? You probably didn't even upload this yourself, did you?
Google, go look at a picture of Big Ramy doing a lat spread or any post for that matter, and his first year in the league or whatever, first New York Pro win, and then you look at it compared to this last show. The guy's two different.
Oh, let's stop right there. Now, there's the proper picture that was put up on my Instagram. Now, I didn't think it was that big of a deal, but here you go. Can anybody dispute? Because while you're all stuck on stupid, trying to figure out whether the picture was supposed to be there or not, it didn't show anything. Here's the two pictures right here. Okay, trying to illustrate a point. Does anybody not see the point that was made? Go pick any two pictures. It doesn't matter. It's trying to illustrate a point. It's all out there. There's video, pictures, whatever. But by all means, keep harping on a picture that was put up by mistake. Here's the proper one. Anybody got anything to add?
So what are you saying? So are you saying that Ramy was better in 2013 than in 2020 or 2021?
Oh, yeah. I mean, he was a lot better back then.
Well, that better didn't get him bringing the title. So you got to get worse to win the Olympia?
Well, he was also competing against different people. So, I mean, you got to roll with the times here.
No, it's pretty much the same people.
Oh, let's stop right there. Listen, I hate to call out Dennis because Dennis is actually a close friend of mine. But I got to keep things real with you folks. He's pretty much competing against the same people. Did you actually just say that, bro? Actually, let's take a look. Once again, facts don't lie, right? 2013. You know how many people he competed against the last 2 years from 2013, from 10 years ago? None. How about 2014? None. How about 2015? One, and that was William Bonac, who was literally just starting, right? 2020, you got Phil and Dexter at the end of their careers in their last Olympias, right? Respectfully. So, no, Dennis, I hate to bring reality to you, brother man, but no, he wasn't competing against the same people. Matter of fact, he was competing against completely different people. And not even arguably, the Olympia was a lot deeper 10 years ago, if you want to go down that list, and I'm going to put that list up right here so you people can see it. Look at the 3 years I just picked out here, and you tell me what differences you can see in A, the depth, and B, is there anybody that Ramy's still competing against? Sorry, Dennis, but you lose that one, bro.
Only people missing is Phil Heath and Jay Cutler.
Well, you got Sean Roden, and there's all kinds of competitors that we had in there that are missing, but that's here nor there.
This, my friends, is called someone that is full of shit. And this is why I think it's hilarious when Bob tries to call me out repeatedly. And the fact that Bob just came back to YouTube and thinks that he's crowned the champion of bodybuilding content is absolutely hilarious to me.
No, what's hilarious, Nick, is that you try to come across as some sort of expert when clearly, well, you've been kicking around with wrestling 120-pound twinks in seedy motel rooms to make a living over the past 10 years. I've actually been out there at shows, emceeing shows, doing the play-by-play, doing the call-outs for shows, writing for magazines, working for MD, working for Flex Magazine, working with Peter McGuff, Sean Perrine, Greg Merritt, Steve Blackman, all the other names in this thing. I've done play-by-plays more times than you were supposed to do one this year, and you couldn't even get that right. By the way, it would be nice if you could come out of the basement sometime and actually attend a show in person, or instead of speculating and relying on third and fourth hand information, you might actually be able to see it for yourself and learn something. But I digress.
Now, if you guys watched the video I did about Big Ramy, about his transformation, the progress he made over the last 10 years, I pointed this out to you guys that I don't know how he won in 2020 and then took fifth in 2022.
Well, that's a real simple answer right there. You're two different shows. You don't know how, this is the problem, like you don't know. You don't know how he could take, be in the winner's circle on one show, and what are you even talking about? They're two different shows against two different lineups. And guess what? Here's the real smoking gun. Other people can come in differently too. Some people improved greatly. Other people, not so much. We saw William Bonac as high as second place in the Olympia. Now he's scrambling to make the top 10. We saw Samson Dauda come out of nowhere and establish himself. He was sixth at the Olympia, but greatly improved at another show that was called the Arnold that he just won. Just because you got yourself a win doesn't mean you're automatically just better than everybody else. That's a reason that they played a game, right?
He has the same physique, if not better. It didn't make much sense to me. Just like Dennis said, there's only a few different bodybuilders now versus before.
You're a complete moron, as Dennis said. So you even agreed it. You couldn't even take 5 minutes to do the homework that I did and go back and look. Once again, let's put that list up there. Here's the list. 10 years ago. Everybody, bodybuilding fans from across the world, what names on that list that you're looking at right now are still competing? And the answer is 0.
Get a chance. They will never. They never put them next to each other and let them battle it out. That's what I'm saying. I'm saying that Ramy was much better than he was at the Olympia. And
that could be because
he was absolutely better than he was at the Olympia. That doesn't mean a hill of beans when it's a different show. And he was so bad at the Olympia that anything was an improvement.
Up at the Olympia.
Exactly. And also what I'm saying is he should have been compared a little bit more. That's all I'm thinking. That's just
the judge. Well, here, I'm going to actually let myself do the talking.
Opinion. And there's a lot of others that have the same opinion.
Well, they can't see. Not everybody has an eye for bodybuilding.
See, Bob, that's not true. You can't say that.
I can absolutely say that. I just did say it. If you can't see that, then you have no business breaking down a bodybuilding show or lending any critique or again, any opinion that really matters. Everybody's entitled to one. It doesn't really mean it's worth anything to anybody if you don't know what you're looking at. He wasn't considered in the top because the judges felt that he wasn't at that level at that show. By the way, they're within 12 feet of each other, as we talked about on a prior podcast. 12 feet. There was only 4 guys. They are comparing them right there, and there's a reason that they didn't move him to the inside. If you're looking for 4th and 5th place, all right, initially, and we've seen this at show after show after show, everybody has, and they think as they're posing, you know what, I want to see this guy next to this guy. It would have taken one judge, one, to pass down that note that says, I want to see Big Ramy next to Samson or Nick or whoever. And guess what? That didn't seem to come because he never got moved in. That means automatically he was on the outside looking in when it came to the top 3.
It's very true.
Don't you think this alone as a Mr. Olympia, you should have the right to be compared?
He did get compared.
Well, on the outside.
That's where they thought he compared, being compared to, right? They didn't think he was incomparable to the top 3.
Now, Dennis laughs there because he knows I'm right. Because they obviously didn't feel as though he warranted comparison, or they would have moved him. Why else would they just leave him out there? Listen, if you wanted to completely just shove the guy to the back, why would you call him out at all in the first call out? You could have put him in the second call out, right? And then he never even stands next to any of those guys. But he was absolutely compared, and they didn't think that he compared for the win. It's that simple.
Most experts did not have him in the top three.
And hear me out for a second. Whether or not who's right, Dennis or Bob, myself, or any other expert out there, the point is Big Ramy deserved to be compared. And the point is Bob is very dismissive.
Listen, you may be deserving of comparison, and you're going to get some consideration that you're a former Mr. Olympia, let alone a two-time Mr. Olympia. But that doesn't mean you automatically are called into the first call out and you get to stand in the middle. That's not calling it the way you see it. This judging panel, and their job is to call out what they see at that time. I don't care if you've won the Olympia 100 times. Listen, on Ronnie's last Olympia, did he merit consideration? Sure. Was he in contention for the top 3 or 4? No. Because there was big differences between what you saw on Ronnie Coleman's last Olympia versus the first 5 or 6 before you started to see some cracks in the armor. But just because you're a former champ does not mean that you get to just automatically be considered for the win. It doesn't work like that.
Bob is very dismissive, once again, when Dennis asks him a question. He doesn't have an answer to the questions that Dennis asks him.
I just answered every single question that DJ asked. Every single one, Nick. Once again, you either don't pay attention or you're remedial, which is really what I think, that you literally just don't understand what's going on at any one time because you're so just hepped up on products that you're taking that it's actually seeped its way into your brain. That's why you'll find any occasion to just launch into a commercial for it, even though people just are laughing at you these days because you become a parody of your own self.
Now, doesn't it seem like Bob is a point of contact for the Federation right now? Doesn't it seem like Dennis is coming to Bob for answers from the Federation right now?
No, Dennis isn't coming to me for anything from the Federation. If Dennis wanted, he could pick up the phone and talk to Jim Mannion all day long, or Tyler, or anybody else that he feels is an authority, or Big Steve. Listen, he knows these people personally, and he's known them as long as I've known them. So why would you have to go through me? It's my opinion on a competition. I mean, this isn't unusual, but why would you think I'm a point man for the Federation? It's just stupid.
Whether you believe that or not, to me, it sounds just like that. It sounds like Dennis had Bob on, or Bob wanted to go on Dennis's show to kind of clear the air with what happened at the Arnold, what happened to Big Ramy, why they scored him down. And I don't know if Bob was given the right information or not, or was even told to go on this, but it sure as hell seems like Bob is the point of contact right now for the IFBB. And
yes,
I don't know.
It would seem like that to idiots out there who really don't know any better or don't know what my association is with the IFBB or such. Yes, you would probably think that. It doesn't need explanation. It's a competition. And then afterwards, people like to analyze it, like a football game or baseball or any other sport that's out there in the world that the analysts get on afterwards or beforehand, and they give their predictions, and then afterwards, when you have a winner or whatnot, they go on there and explain what happened. It's really not that difficult, buddy.
I particularly believe everything Bob says anyway, because Bob is not all there. And just like when Bob attacks me saying, I don't know what I'm talking about, I'm full of lies, I'm full of shit, my channel's called Bullshit for a reason, he clearly doesn't know what he's talking about. And that's why you guys need to listen to me when I tell you guys to check out products from Old School Labs that actually work.
There it is.
I am the last person to bullshit you. And the irony in this channel name is because I'm
the last person to bullshit you. And then he launches into a commercial in the middle of a thought process. How can anybody take this clown for real? This is the only bigger idiot that's around are the people that actually follow him. How stupid can you be?
The bullshit. I don't put up with the bullshit. And I tell you guys the truth. And that's why you guys tune into this channel. And that's why you guys watch everything and listen to me. Because I make sure when I come on to report something, it is the truth. And if I did make a mistake for any reason, I'll be the first one to own it and tell you guys I made a mistake. But has that happened yet? Not really. Once again.
Has that happened yet? Not really. What reality is this guy living in? he must be taking some good stuff from somebody because, bro, you got a whole skewed perception of you've been wrong on almost everything that you put out there. All you dealing is gossip and innuendo. You're TMZ. You're the Inquirer of bodybuilding. Nobody takes you seriously. And I can tell you this right now because I just did the analytics for my show. And guess where the biggest growth has come from? Your show. That's right, Nick. I thank you. I'm actually going to take the 1 second of my time here and say thanks. Thank you, sir, and keep doing exactly what you're doing because all your people are coming over to me because they actually do want to hear about bodybuilding and judging and criteria and rules and how stuff works from somebody who's actually been out there in the trenches doing it for 20 years. So when you sit there, oh, Bob finally comes back to YouTube finally. Yeah, because I'm busy. Because I'm out there actually working. I'm actually at shows, doing coverage, on stage, all that stuff. And where are you? Nobody knows.
Now let's get back to what Bob has to say.
But what do you go off of? You stand on the side of the stage. You don't see them from the front. How do you judge
No, but
them?
I can see them. You've emceed plenty of shows. You're
And I would, and every time I MC, but from the side, I can't compare these guys.
You can get a lot. You can't, obviously, you don't have the front, the best seat in the house. In this case, I was actually closer than the judges were because they're so far back at the Arnold. We need to change that. But
very interesting. So now Bob is saying he could judge the show from where he's standing.
No, actually, I'm not a judge. So, no, I'm not saying I can judge the show. I can get an opinion. I give you my opinion. I can see the physiques pretty damn close. Again, in this case, closer. But I'm not a judge.
MCs the show. Now, if any of you have ever watched a bodybuilding show and you see where Bob stands, how could he possibly see who's the better bodybuilder from a side view? You don't even see.
Well, first of all, if you've ever been to a show, Nick, I know it's been some time, but if you get out of the basement long enough, they actually move on stage. They walk on stage. Okay, it's not always a side view. Sometimes they're actually looking at me, right? Quarter turn. And by the way, the podium is actually out more towards the front. So I'm not completely sideways to them. But again, I'm not a judge, number one, but I'm close enough and I've been to enough shows that I can actually see what kind of condition these guys are in and how they're stacking up. Pretty damn close. No, it's not where the judges are sitting, but it's probably second best.
Physique straight on. So how could you tell who's winning any shot?
Well, here's another clue for you, Nick. Again, get out of the house, buddy. Seriously, we'd love to have you at any one of the shows. If you can't afford it, let me know. DM me. I'll absolutely get you a VIP ticket, buddy, just so we can prove some points here. You know how else you can tell, Nick? Here's a little clue for everybody. You can tell by where the guys are being placed. Nobody, when they came out, let's just take the Arnold, since we're going to keep talking about that. Nobody had Rami in first. You know why? Because he was all the way on the outside. So you can get some idea of what the judges' consideration is for what they're looking at out of where the guys are standing. Everybody knew it was a three-man race right off the bat. Nobody had Big Rami or Sean Clarita or anybody past that contending for number 1, 2, or 3 based on, if you know nothing else, you see where the judges are putting them and comparing them. It's that simple.
That Bob just brought up the point that the judges were too far away to see anything is really dumb of him.
in this case, I was at
So, well, let's just let this play.
closer than the judges were because they're so far back at the Arnold. We need to change that. But
Why would he say something like that on a live show?
First of all, what's the difference whether it's a live show? So he emphasizes that like that's got anything to do with anything? Oh, it's on a live show. As opposed to what? This taped show that I'm going to say the same thing? Why would I say such a thing? Well, there's something called measurement, Nick. This is another big word for you today, I know. But you see, I'm only about, 20 feet away from the guys. And my best estimation, and I could probably get the actual floor specs from the Arnold people, because I know some people over there, they were about 50 feet away from the main, where the guys were standing. So, I don't know. I'm no mathematician, clearly, but I think that's a lot closer than the judges. So why would I say that? Because it's actually true.
The judges, I was even closer than them. They were way too far back. I could see the athletes better than them. I mean, how much dumber does this guy get if he's representing the IFBB?
Well, first of all, I'm not representing the IFBB, but how much dumber can I get when I absolutely stated the fact All you had to do was pace it off. Really wasn't too difficult. Anybody who was there would probably say the same thing.
Coming back in the 270-something range, not the 280 or 90-something range, and he might still have a chance of getting back.
There's no way he could be 270.
Yeah, he can, but he wouldn't be the Rami that he did.
Now, let me just stop this right here, okay? So I say, trying to emphasize a point. He needs to come back in the 270-something range. You know why I said something? Because I don't have an exact weight. I don't know his exact weight on stage. We can all guess. We all don't know what they actually weigh since there's no weigh-in, so we just take people's words. But 70-something range, you know what that can be? Anywhere from 270 to 279, right? 270-something range. I'm not exactly sure. That's why I said the word something with it, but let's key in on the lowest number that we can possibly get, which is 270.
Well, what the hell is Bob even talking about? 270? The lightest Big Ramy has ever been was the year 2021 when he wasn't training for 6 months and he weighed 282 on stage because all he did was prep for the last 16 weeks before the Olympia stage and he won the Olympia. 270, you have to cut off Big Ramy's right leg. And probably that'd be too much, actually. You'd probably cut off his right arm, and he'd probably hit 270. So what is Bob even talking about? These things are not even relevant.
Well, I'm talking about that he needs to come in lighter, but any moron with a half a brain could see the point I'm trying to make. And again, I didn't say he needs to weigh 270 on stage. Once again, comprehension. Not your strong point, buddy. All right? I even try to clarify because I realized that even somebody on there said, Milos, Dennis, whoever, something about 270. The point is he needs to be 10 pounds lighter. Okay, so if he's 290, he needs to be 280. If he's 280, he needs to be 270. Again, I don't know exactly what weight he is, but let's not muddle the point. It's like the picture thing all over again.
They're not even a possibility. And who is he to say what Big Ramy should weigh? Bob has never coached anybody. He has zero coaching experience. And Bob is an MC at a bodybuilding show.
How would this idiot know who I've coached or what experience I have or anything like that? I don't know this guy from any other bald-headed idiot that's out there spewing nonsense every week on a YouTube. So why would he make such an outrageous comment about whether I have any expertise in coaching or anything like that? If I wanted to get in that stuff, I could have done it years ago.
When the hell did Bob become a nutritionist for bodybuilders now? Now all of a sudden he knows what people should weigh, what they should do, what type of workout, the car.
Again, now he's just running at the mouth, right? Because he doesn't really know what to say. So this is all what we call filler, right? So he starts adding in all these things that allegedly, I need to know what their diet is. I need to know. No, I have two eyes. I can just see what they look like, okay? I can assume, okay, rightfully in most cases, that they either need to come down or need to work on a certain part or whatever. That's got nothing to do with their diet and nutrition. That's not my job, okay? That's their trainer's job to figure that stuff out. But keep rambling, Nick.
Session they should do to get in shape for a show. Man, Bob, you should have opened the Voice of Bodybuilding coaching now. You'd be an expert coach, just like you are as an MC. An expert.
If he would ask you for feedback, why did I place fourth? Why did I not? What do I need to do in order to win the Arnold?
Again, trim it down 10. Come in 10 pounds lighter. Okay.
Come in 10 pounds lighter. You see how I changed that? Because clearly everybody got stuck on a certain number. 270. Oh, that's outrageous. Okay, just bring it down 10 pounds. Let's make this real simple for everybody.
You got to get the waist back down in size if you can. The thighs, don't ever squat again in your life. Okay, go to other things. You do not need more size. His legs have increasingly gotten bigger, which only makes his calves look even smaller. And he doesn't have small calves. His thighs are gigantic. His waist is wider. And again, whatever's going on with his back and his arms could be whether it's nerve problems or whatever he's got to get regenerated or get some work on or whatever. That's all giving a different physique than what.
Now, this is real interesting because Nick only uses what we call selective editing, all right, from this interview I did on DJ's Old School Roundtable. Okay, DJ actually agrees with me because when the shoulders are brought up, he actually says, well, I don't know if it's the shoulders, but his triceps have actually gotten smaller, so I think it just emphasizes the delts more. Now, DJ said that. I didn't. But now you've admitted that his back has been an issue. and his arms have shrunk up a little bit. That's an issue. His midsection, anybody with two eyes can see, has gotten bigger over the years. And again, that's not unusual for somebody who's been around at the top and is now closer to 40 than closer to 30. All right, so nobody's disputing that, but we're not going to stick our head in the sand and believe it doesn't exist. It's all right there.
Saw just a few years ago. My advice is simple. He needs time away, step away from the gym, get yourself healthy, take a year off. He's qualified for life, and come back to the Olympia with a renewed physique.
A renewed physique. Didn't you say something about he's almost 40?
Yeah,
so you
he is almost 40.
So you think he's going to come back with a renewed physique?
Do I think so?
No. The reason that Dennis actually says this is because he knows that it's very difficult and very unlikely, as we've both been 40, okay, and now we're not. All right, for anybody to, quote, regenerate and all that stuff, but he knows it's very unlikely. That's why he's asking this rhetorical question. Do I believe he can regenerate? Listen, it doesn't matter that I say he was close to, yes, he is close to 40. He's 39. I don't know, call me crazy, but I always thought that was close to 40. I could be wrong on that, but somebody will correct me, I'm sure. But yes, very, very difficult when you're close to 40 to, quote, regenerate or grow new parts or make substantial changes to things because of the amount of time in the trenches, the wear and tear on the body, and everything else that goes with the aging process.
I think it's a very tough road.
Many Olympians won over 40.
As you guys can see, once again, Bob is talking out of his ass. Dennis James is getting very frustrated with Bob. And Dennis does not agree with anything Bob is suggesting for Big Ramy. Now, whether or not Dennis James and Big Ramy split, whether or not you believe Dennis is right or Bob's right, you have to agree that Bob's points on this podcast that I just showed you are absolutely ridiculous and completely asinine and make no sense. Even if you're not a Ramy fan, it doesn't matter. These points he just brought up have zero truth to them and aren't even possible. They aren't even in the realm.
All right, well, that's enough of that nonsense. I can't take any more of this guy running his mouth, but as you can see, folks, it's very easy to systematically just take something like this apart piece by piece when you've got the facts and you know what you're talking about. Every bit of that. And if anybody wants to dispute any of that, go ahead. I not only addressed what Nick said, but I was even able to clarify some of the stuff as I was on DJ's podcast. So if anybody can't see exactly what's going on here, then I can't help you out. But it's all right there, all right in front of you, all spelled out. As always, I don't deal in rumors. I don't deal in speculation. All right? I don't deal in like stuff that fake news Nick deals in. But if he wants to keep bringing it, buddy. I'm just going to keep destroying you over and over. It's just becoming a pastime for me and something to do on the weekend. So that's going to wrap it up, folks. Hate to have to address this, but sometimes you got to do what you got to do. So we'll be right back with our next episode. We're going to be getting back on track with some real good information for all of our amateur competitors out there. That's going to wrap it up. I'm Bob Ciccarello.